What's up, y'all? I'm Liz from Young Adventurers, and today I'm in Matera, Italy, which is in the south, and it's on the border between Apulia and Basilicata, and it's probably one of the coolest cities I've ever been to in Italy. It's really, really neat, really well preserved. If you can see behind me, this famous neighborhood is called the Sassi, which is means stones, and people have been living in these stone cave-like houses for thousands and thousands of years, and they were living in them in total poverty, without electricity, like bringing in their livestock and their farm animals for warmth up until the 50s, until the Italian government realized what was going on and was basically like, this cannot continue. So they forcibly moved everyone out of the Sassi into these hideous block housing that's on the top of the hill behind me, leaving this old part of the city completely abandoned for decades until it was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And then people started coming back, and tourists started coming, and they started buying up the property and building, you know, luxury hotels and properties and cafes and bars. But it's still, like, if you're walking around, I would say like half of the buildings haven't been restored at all. You know, there's still like gardens growing out of the roof, walls that have caved in. So it just feels really, really interesting to walk around the old quarter and get lost in these tiny little narrow streets that cars can't drive on, and tons of little staircases and alleyways just connecting between the houses. You know, it feels really cool. In fact, it's such a neat area that Mel Gibson decided to film The Passion of the Christ here a couple years ago, I think in like 2006, and you can tell it just feels like how maybe like Jerusalem or one of these ancient cities would have felt 2,000 years ago. It just still has the same, you know, ambiance here, which is really unique in Europe, in spite of having so many historical places. So right now I'm standing on top of the Hotel Palazzo Viceconte, which is where I'm staying. It's a restored 16th century medieval palace. It's really, really cool. The owner bought it, I think, like 15 years ago. It took him and it was complete ruin. It took him a decade to be able to restore it and turn it into this hotel that people can come and stay at now. And it's interesting because it's really, really big, but there's only 14 rooms here, so it feels very much like a museum. It doesn't feel like a resort or touristic at all. You know, there's all these rooms where he has his art collection lined up, and it just feels like you're in a museum walking around, so, which is, for a hotel, pretty cool. Not to mention you get to stay in a palace. Not many people get to do that. But of course, the best part is the view. This is the view from the terrace on the roof, but it's the same view I have from my room. So waking up and opening your window and getting to see this behind me is just pretty incredible, and makes me so grateful I decided to come out here. Never actually had heard of Matera. I've been to Italy a dozen times, but had never heard of this area in the south. I don't know if I was just completely oblivious or what, but I met this woman on the beach in Greece who told me about it, and she was like, you can't miss it if you come to to southern Italy. So I had to squeeze it in on my itinerary, and I'm so glad I did, because I feel like this is the exact kind of unique off the beaten path destination in Italy, which can be hard to come by nowadays considering how popular this country is to visit, especially for Americans. I haven't met any Americans here at all. In fact, not many people speak English either, which has been fun. But I think the thing I'm most excited for is I ended up showing up on their patron saint festival. It starts tomorrow. It's called like Madonna della Bruna, I think. And it's supposed to be insane. Like last night I went out and was wandering around and was just astonished by the amount of people in the streets and like the party that's starting. And I've been to a lot of Spanish like patron saint festivals, and those are pretty insane. So like I'm really excited to see what Italy has up its sleeve. I've seen some videos that I have a feeling is going to get really wild and batshit crazy. So I think I'm going to have to change my itinerary again and try to stick around for an extra day to see what the people of Matera have in store for me. But yeah, if you're thinking of coming to Italy and you want to try somewhere different that's still really beautiful, I definitely suggest coming to Matera because the city rocks.